Bulbbul is a 2020 Bollywood film that, on first glance, seems like a film about the horrors of the supernatural. However, what it is really about is the horrors of the patriarchy. In a system of society in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it, the patriarchy and misogyny work hand in hand. Bulbbul is a masterclass on misogynistic society and reflects on the culture that silences women. Misogynistic behaviors are revealed when women violate patriarchal norms and expectations. And Bulbbul is a film that showcases it all. In this video, we discuss The Brilliance of Bulbbul, a film from the mind of writer and director Anvita Dutt that is authentically feminist in nature. This is a film that happens when women tell women's stories. It's worth mentioning that the film's outstanding cinematography sets the tone for the melancholic social critique to play out. The symbolism of Bulbbul's feet throughout the film is monumental. The feet provide a person with the ability to escape through walking or running. Bulbbul's feet are mentioned many times by the characters throughout the film, and the state of her feet lends itself to the story. Our first look at Bulbbul is by a shot of her dangling feet, adorned as a child bride. Following that introduction, the child bride Bulbbul asks in a significant scene why she has to put on a toe ring, with the response from her relative being, "If it's not pressed, girls tend to fly away." This further builds on the symbolism of escape or being a caged bird and having a lack of agency or control. Control is a major theme in this film. Specifically, the lack of control of women over their own lives. In her human life, Bulbbul had no control over the events that occurred to her. She was a child bride married to a man significantly older than her. She had no control over who she could love, and the violence and abuse that occurred in her life happened where she had no control over the events leading up to them. But the control that men have over women is taken back through the depiction of the chudel. And more importantly, the feet of the chudel are twisted, representing the supernatural, the horrors and violence that has occurred. It has literally turned her from being human to something else entirely. Symbolism of the color red. In Bulbbul, there is an intentional use of the color red. In scenes depicting supernatural events or significant moments, we see the frame bathed in a deep red hue. For biological women, the color red is significant. Red is the color of blood and can be associated with the first blood of a period. However, the color red can also be associated with other elements in this film, including impending danger, sacrifice, and courage. An especially significant moment in Bulbbul is the appearance of the red moon. A red moon has many spiritual meanings and represents many omens in different religions. The moon is also linked to feminine energy by influencing cycles, the natural rhythm of life, and the oceans. In this way, the blood moon of Bulbbul serves as drastic imagery, where an inference is made that something monumental is about to happen, be it good or bad. Every character in Bulbbul's family abuses her in some manner due to the patriarchal structure and misogyny that exists in this microcosm. But Satya perhaps presents the greatest betrayal and disappointment in the Bulbbul universe. As an audience, we see Satya and Bulbbul as children and assume the depth of their bond. And as they grow up, we see Bulbbul position Satya as her confidant and safe harbor in her uncertain surroundings. We see Bulbbul distraught over Satya's departure, but ultimately, we realize that Satya is a product of his surroundings. In his casual misogyny, he sees Bulbbul as an object to possess, and when his position in her life is threatened, he becomes jealous and vindictive and seeks to control her behavior. Like this scene, after Satya sees Bulbbul with Dr. Sudeep for the first time. He is annoyed by Dr. Sudeep's presence and chastises Bulbbul, stating she's not veiled. There are so many scenes after Bulbbul and Satya's reunion in which his vindictiveness is on display. But the most pivotal scene between Satya and Bulbbul is perhaps this one. He is unable to contain himself when she says the name of Dr. Sudeep. Satya, unable to quell his jealousy and vindictiveness, writes to his brother informing him of what he perceives as Bulbbul's transgressions. We as an audience never truly know if Satya sent this letter, but he issues a thinly veiled threat to Bulbbul. And to punish her for it, he threatens that she will be sent back to her family. This is a far cry from the Satya that we assumed that we knew. Bulbbul's final response to Satya defines his true nature, in which she says, "You are all the same." Binodini is an important symbol in the world of Bulbbul. There are similar women that can be found in real life and as characters in works of fiction. Essentially, by placing a woman in such a role, the suggestion is that women too can be complicit in oppressing other women and perpetuating dangerous and violent patriarchal ideas. In many ways, Binodini can be compared to the character of Iago in Othello. She, like Iago, is the one who pours the pestilence into the ears of Bulbbul's husband, meaning she is the one who fills the mind of Bulbbul's husband with unbearable jealousy in the hopes of her own rise. However, the most significant scene for Binodini's character is this one. It is the embodiment of the culture of silencing women in society. This scene occurs after the brutal incident between Binodini's husband and Bulbbul, and in it we see Binodini telling Bulbbul to keep quiet. Bulbbul is a masterpiece. It is a film that is authentically feminist in nature. A feminist revenge story that speaks to the condition of women and women's struggles unlike any other. This film is made by women, for women, and is unapologetic about it. The culture of silencing and controlling women, the various forms of abuse women and children continue to endure, with many times no form of justice for them, finds retribution and a semblance of justice in the form of the Judel, only a demon to those committing evil. She is, in fact, a goddess. This film will remain as one of Bollywood's most iconic feminist films for years to come.